first question is about the fact that there's a ceasefire deal achieved in Lebanon between the Israeli government and Lebanon. Does that give you hope for a ceasefire in Gaza?
Not really. I think that is an agreement that's been reached, and there is a ceasefire, and that will save life in Lebanon. I think the Israeli determination is to focus on the occupation of the Gaza Strip and ultimately the annexation of the West Bank. And what we're dealing with is Israeli expansionism and the most abominable brutality against Palestinian people in the process. As we know, there are 45,000 dead already known about in Gaza, possibly as many as 100,000 more bodies under the rubble. There are at least 2,000 who've been killed on the West Bank, and at least 4,000 people were killed in the activities in southern Lebanon. And on top of that, the number of settlements has increased, and the settler attacks on Palestinian villages has intensified. So we have a situation where legally Israel is condemned by every court. Their leaders are under arrest warrants around the world, and indeed Netanyahu, should he ever cease to be Prime Minister, would be arrested in his own country. And so you ask yourself, what on earth are the Western governments doing supporting this kind of government and this kind of policy? Stop the arms sales is my simple message.
And then on just one thing on domestic policy, we've seen partnerships between Starmer and BlackRock. We've seen some people feel disillusioned with a lack of action on climate change, a lack of action on taxing wealth more. We've seen West Streeting accept thousands of pounds from private healthcare companies and plans to introduce competition in the NHS. When it comes to the cost of living crisis, stagnating wages, what do you have to say to people who are suffering and struggling under the weight of the economic situation?
We have to fight back in the way we've always fought back, through our unions to get decent wages and through our campaigning to end indignities like the two-child benefit cap or the removal of the winter fuel allowance to a lot of older people. And when the government is more interested in taking money from wealthy individuals who reside in tax havens and cooperating, as they put it, with the private health sector instead of promoting public health, you then ask yourself some very questions about where is the Labour Party going to end up on all this. And the budget was limited in every conceivable way, and it includes within it a rise in defence expenditure to 2.5% of GDP, which will be about another 30 billion a year. 30 billion would make a big difference to education, health and housing and poverty. It would only cost 1.3 billion to end the two-child benefit cap, for example.
And then last question, recent skirmishes in Syria. It was Black Friday recently, people talking about the exploitation of workers in the Congo. It reminds people of the exploitation of workers in China and all over the world. What's some practical ways that people can start to get involved as we enter a new year in building the kind of positive project for a better world?
I think these projects for a better world are actually happening in front of our very eyes. I mean, look down there, thousands of people who probably have a fairly wide social and political background have come together in support of the Palestinian people. They're going to stay together on causes of justice and so on. In my own experience in my own community, we're holding monthly forums for people to come along, usually discuss a specific topic, but also raise any question they want when they're there. And there is a growing number of people that want to see a socially just and cohesive political alternative. The Labour Party is not offering it, and the danger is, with that great gap between what the Labour Party should be offering and what the aspirations of working class communities are, Reform will move in with their message of division and hate. It's up to us to offer a socialist alternative, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Thank you again.
Thank you.